Hey, boys and girls, it's Mr. Gilbert, and today it's Thursday, May 7th. Today, what we're going to do is a little bit of editing work for writing. So, the first thing you need to do is actually go back, and if you haven't done the work, you need to do the work prior to watching the video. That means do the work and then watch the video, okay? Reverse order than normal. You are going to read Anthony Visits Nick, the story I wrote on the computer today. And what I want you to do with this is I want you to excuse me. I want you to find all the mistakes. There's definitely mistakes in there. I'll be honest, there's grammatical mistakes, there's spelling mistakes, and most importantly, I want you to look for punctuation mistakes. Something I've noticed, and I know your teachers have noticed on some of our writing, is punctuation errors and also compound sentences. So taking two sentences and possibly putting them together and adding a comma where it's appropriate to make them into a compound sentence to make one sentence out of two. So again, pause the video if you haven't. Rewrite it down below. Either type it up or rewrite it and take a picture, whatever works for you. And then let's go over this. So I'm going to go right into it, assuming that you've done the work. And let's talk about this. I'm going to read it one time through the whole thing to kind of get an idea of um, what we're looking at. And then we're going to go back and make the edits. So it says, on Sunday, Anthony went over to Nick's house to play basketball. They played a game of one-on-one. Anthony made 6 baskets, but Nick made 8. Nick was the winner. After the game, both boys went inside to have some snacks and watch television. Anthony and Nick both had snacks. Nick's moms made them pizza bites. Okay, so let's go back up here. Now, one thing you can do is you can reread this slowly and see where you naturally take a breath. That's going to help you determine where to put the punctuation marks. So let's start. On Sunday, Anthony went over to Nick's house to play. Oh, to play basketball. Okay, so I definitely want to put a period after basketball here. Let's make this my first sentence. On Sunday, Anthony went over to Nick's house to play basketball. They, see where I took a breath? They, okay. And it's also capitalized here. That helped us a little bit. All right, what else do you notice here? On Sunday, Anthony. So my computer kind of helps us out here. It tells us there's some mistakes, but in this case, Sunday needs to be capitalized because it's what kind of a noun? Think to yourself, what kind of noun is that? Proper noun. Day of the week must be capitalized. And if we're talking about proper nouns, Anthony is a person. It's a proper noun as well. We know that. That should be given. Now, on Sunday, Anthony, you kind of have this pause here, right? On Sunday, Anthony went over to Nick's house to play basketball. What do you think goes here? We took a breath. We don't want to put a period because that's not a complete sentence. We want to make sure we're having complete sentences. So let's add a comma in there. Now listen to it as we read it. On Sunday, pause. Anthony went over to Nick's house to play basketball. Are we done with this sentence? No. What's wrong with this sentence yet? We're thinking about proper nouns. We've done a lot of noun work here. I see two nouns that are incorrect. Nick's should be capitalized. Nick's house to play basketball. Nick's a proper noun, so we want to capitalize it. Is basketball a proper noun? No. If we were saying a specific team like the Celtics, that would be a proper noun because we're naming a specific basketball team. But basketball itself is not a proper noun. So let's get rid of that capitalization. So now on Sunday, Anthony went over to Nick's house to play basketball. Okay, so there was a bunch of mistakes in that first sentence. Let's continue working. They played a game of one-on-one. Okay, is that a complete sentence? Does that have a subject and a verb? So what would the subject be? Who's doing the action? They. So they would be the subject, and then the verb would be played. And what are they doing? They're playing a game. So yeah, that's a complete sentence. So we can leave that punctuation mark there. They played a game of one-on-one. So what's wrong with game? Without an E, the A can't be long, so it says gam. So we need to add an E. They played a game of one-on-one. Do you see anything else in that sentence? I don't either. Let's move on. Anthony made 6 baskets. But. Okay, what's wrong with that? 2 T's? No, that's the wrong but. Let's make it 1 T. But Nick made 8. Nick was the winner. Okay, so this sounds funny. Anthony made 6 baskets. Take a pause because there's a comma. But Nick made 8. Nick was the winner. Okay. On this case here, Anthony made 6 baskets, but Nick made 8. I think let's put a period here because there's too much information in the sentence. This is what we call a run-on sentence. Too much going on. Now let's reread it. Anthony made 6 passes, but Nick made 8. Is that a complete sentence? Yes. And what kind of sentence is that? There's a comma in here. So and there's we have a we have a subject and a verb and a subject and a verb. It's a compound sentence. Finally, what do we have to do with Nick? Proper noun, capitalize it. Okay, let's move to the next sentence. Nick was the winner. Sounds good to me. We have a subject, we have a verb, and Nick is capitalized. All right. After. Well, we know this is the beginning of a sentence, so we need to capitalize it. After the game, hmm. After the game, both boys went. What's wrong with went? Fix that spelling. W-E-N-T. And after the game, both boys went inside to have some snacks and watch television. Okay, so after the game, this is definitely a run-on sentence right here. So we're right here. Let's read it out loud. I think one of the easiest things to do is read sentences out loud and listen to the pause in your voice. Where would you naturally pause? 'Cause this is going to help you again break up these sentences, possibly compound sentences, or just add a comma in. After the game, both boys went inside to have snacks and watch television. Listen to it one more time. After the game, both boys. So I'm thinking, let's put a comma after the game. After the game, just like at the beginning, we said on Sunday, Anthony. After the game, both boys went inside to have snacks and watch television. Okay, I see something wrong here. Snacks. Now, we didn't talk a whole lot about this. I think we talked a little bit about it in Mr. Gilbert's class, in some of our conferences, but snacks has an apostrophe S. We don't need an apostrophe S there because we're not talking about Nick's snacks or Anthony's snacks. We're just talking about snacks. So let's get rid of that apostrophe S. Let's move to the last sentence. Anthony and Nick both had snacks. Nick's mom's mad than pizza bites. Okay. So we know Nick needs to be capitalized because we've been talking about proper nouns this whole time we've been reviewing. Anthony and Nick both had snacks. Nick's mom made them pizza bites. So made, what's wrong with made? This actually says mad. We want to make it made. It's at me. Okay, listen to that when I read again. I'm hearing something as I read. I wonder if you hear it too. Anthony and Nick both had snacks. Nick's mom made them pizza bites. So we could make this into two sentences, right? We could say Anthony and Nick both had snacks. Period. Nick's mom made them pizza bites. Or we could change this to make it a compound sentence. What could we do to make this a compound sentence? We could replace this with a comma. Now we pause and it's still a complete sentence with subject and verbs. In each part, Anthony and Nick both had snacks. Nick's mom made them pizza bites. Okay, so you could do that either way. You could make it two sentences, or in our case, we're going to make it one and make it a compound sentence. Pizza bites at the end. We need to have a punctuation mark. Okay, my friends. Well, I hope this has been just a very friendly, helpful reminder of how to edit your work, what to look for, what to listen for when you are reading out loud, and to add those punctuation marks. Please rewrite the paragraph for me. Make sure you submit it. Like I said, there's no right or wrong here on that last sentence. You could have either way. And again, you can also edit this work and add in things. Like if you wanted to make one of these sentences longer and expand it, you absolutely could do that. Okay, friends, I'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Bye, everyone.